Yeah. Well, you think so? I'm across the street normally, and I'll be over here for everyone. Thanks for being here.
Okay. So we are on Facebook Live.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All ready?
And you are ready to go?
Good morning. Rob Giordano, Sonoma County Sheriff. Thanks for being out here today. My last name is spelled Giordano. So I'm going to start with saying that this is still an active disaster. Safety is still the priority. Life safety is where it's at, so nothing's changed in that regard. We had evacuations late into yesterday evening still going on. We did not have any evacuations throughout the middle of the night. Please stay out of the evacuated areas. The security in there is very important to us. Resources are very important to us. We don't want people in those areas, and they will not open for several days. Again, we will advertise when they're going to open on the Sonoma Sheriff's Office Facebook page, Sonoma Sheriff's Office Nixle, and Sonoma County Facebook page. You can get evac updates, opening updates, everything from those pages. So please keep following those sites. We're pushing out information regularly. Natural gas has been restored to the jail. Yesterday we reported that natural gas was out, so thanks to PG&E, we have natural gas back up. That is a big deal to us. We have over 1,000 inmates in there. The ability to prepare food is very important, so that is a good piece of information for us. I want to talk about missing persons next. Missing persons, the total number of reports are up to 900 now. Some of these numbers have been confusing over time. The reason is that there are duplicates in the missing person report list. So we're constantly trying to weed out the duplicates to get down to the number of people. But as of this morning, we have 900 missing persons reports. We have found 437 of them safe. Just communication issues. Cell service still having problems. People have been evacuated from multiple areas. They're just not connecting with their family. So 437 of the 900 are safe. 463 are still outstanding. 14 deceased is the new number today. And I'm going to talk about something that's really sensitive now. It's a harder part of it, and it'll be very hard for the families. We're moving into a recovery phase. What we're doing is we're working the missing persons through their families, through conventional contacts, phones, other addresses. As that case leads us to no further information and we end up essentially our next step in the case is going to that person's house in the fire zone and trying to find them. We're doing targeted searches. So we have teams of people who are going out searching for a very specific person based on the missing person's case to a very specific place. That's how the majority of the recoveries have been made so far. Area has to be safe for us to get in. It's going to be a slow process right now, still active fire zones. We're using search and rescue team members. Not law enforcement. They are law enforcement associated, but not people that can be doing evacs and other things. So we're spreading our resources very, very wisely. And we have cadaver dogs up here that basically can scent bodies and help us find people. So that is the reality of it. This next part is the rest of the reality. Identification is going to be hard. So far in the recoveries, we have found bodies that were almost completely intact, and we have found bodies that were nothing more than ash and bones. One of the ways that we make IDs in those cases is through medical devices. So there have been IDs in this case in a pile of ash and bones where there was a piece of metal left from somebody's surgery, like a hip replacement, with an ID number on it, and that helped us ID the person. So I'm sorry to have to tell you that, but that is what we're faced with in this fire as far as identifying people and recovering people. And that is why identification might take a long time in some of the cases. What I can tell you is we will do everything in our power to locate all of the missing people. And I promise you that we will handle the remains with care and get them returned to their loved ones. So I'll take any questions now.
We heard some reports that Sonoma County officials decided not to send out an alert, a mass alert of cell phones. Can you speak on that at all? I know you touched on it a little bit yesterday, but
I'm actually not aware of that at all. I'm sorry. So as far as I'm concerned, the reports and the messaging going out, it's been fine.
The report says that it was specifically the Chronicle report. It's the emergency service coordinator and the county's emergency manager made the decision not to send out the mass text alert because they were afraid people would come out, jam the roads, and make it harder for first responders.
Yeah, not aware of that at all. What I would do is the 1 o'clock briefing is the global briefing for the whole fire event. I'm doing these because I'm trying to keep people up to date on what the sheriff's office is doing. And our job in this is that safety, evacuation, and recovery, and I think that's an important component. But I will be at the 1 o'clock to talk about exactly this, but that's probably a better question for them.
When these kinds of events are decided, these types of text messages would be sent out, is your input sought? And is it something that the fire chief or someone else would actually seek your input and say, hey, what do you think about this?
Well, I really can't speak to that test because I'm not familiar with it, but I can tell you that we are part of the unified command at the fire, so we are one of the 3 people running the event. So I have people in there doing that, and the EOC, a lot of people involved. We're all involved in that.
Do you agree with that decision that was made?
I'm not going to speak about it anymore. I don't know the facts behind it, so I can't tell you. Other questions?
You heard possible reports of PG&E power lines falling down, and that may have sparked some of the fires.
Yeah, that's for the fire briefing at 1. I don't know what sparked the fires.
Sure. He's going to the jail. Courts are closed. Yesterday, court was in session. Only half of 100 people were arraigned, so people are staying in jail longer than they normally would. What's the situation inside the Sonoma County Jail?
Situation in the jail is good. Everything's working fine. They're getting fed. The gas is back on. I know they're doing arraignments. I'm not aware of anybody staying in longer.
As we move into the recovery phase, how many people are doing that? How many people are part of that team? And then can you speak on how many cadaver dogs are out here as well?
Yeah, I'm not sure how many cadaver dogs are up here right now. I can tell you that there's 30 detectives working the missing person side of it, and there's at least 10 search and rescue people from our agency, and I believe there's 10 from another agency coming up too.
Sheriff, there's
Repeat the number missing and the number of people found.
You bet. So the current missing persons report is 900. The current number that have been found and safe is 437, and outstanding is 463.
Just to be clear,
I'm sorry?
The number of deceased.
14.
just to be clear though, that some of those reports could be overlapped.
Yeah, we've been trying to eliminate the duplicates, and that's why over the last couple of days the numbers went up and then down again and up again. It was a confusion over, we pulled a bunch of duplicates out. So keep that in mind as I talk about these numbers, explain that the 900 could go to 950 in an hour, and we might pull out 50 of those just because of duplicates, because the information keeps coming in.
Sheriff, we've seen a lot of erroneous reports.
People, for example, weekly upcountry 1 and 2, they apparently are outside the evacuation zones, but they're not being allowed to go into their homes to get their animals or their pets. What would you say to people that are being told that they can't go in even though they're not in an evacuation zone?
So if they can't go in, it's because it's unsafe, and it is an evacuation zone as far as we're concerned. There may be some confusion of where the line is, but the message is if there's police blocking your street, don't go home.
As people start to register on the website that's available for the missing, is there any list available at all with any organization, the Red Cross or through you?
I'm sorry, I don't think I understand the question.
Are there names for the missing?
The missing person list names? No, we're not publishing that right now. We're just working the cases.
What's your plan for identifying folks who you identify? What is the names of folks who you identify?
We will notify the families first, and then we will release the names publicly.
Once or as you
No, we will release them as they come up. This is going to take a long time.
Sheriff, could you comment as to the enormity of the mutual aid for this event? Give us some insight on where these officers and support are coming from?
Yes, as long as you know that my numbers are estimates, because I can't even keep track of how many people are up here now, okay? I will tell you that I was at the fire camp last night, and I was just impressed with the amount of engines and people and supplies and equipment, and I'm very impressed with how they run these emergencies as far as the amount of equipment they bring in, and I'm confident in the work they're doing. I will tell you that on the law enforcement side and the resources we've had here, there's 436 National Guard troops here in Sonoma County right now. There's roughly 100 deputy sheriffs from this agency out on the street right now. And last count, there was 200 plus other law enforcement officers from other agencies working on the street right now. So when I say working on the street right now, that's because it takes another 300 behind them to come out tonight. So there are hundreds of law enforcement officers from around the Bay Area. I can't even keep track of the number of agencies now, but I can't thank them all enough. Everybody in this community is ponied up, and I mean community like the whole north half of the state, and brought people up here. And I know that the southern part of the state is prepared to send people as we wear out the ones that are here. So I have no concerns about the mutual aid and the amount of resources and help from the Office of Emergency Services. And I met with the director last night. He offered anything we need. So the ray of sunshine in this is the cooperation and the amount of resources coming into this county.
Sheriff, there have been a lot of erroneous reports on social media. Has your office been made aware of any erroneous reports, and what are some of the real-world effects of erroneous reports that are spread throughout social media?
I think erroneous reports are part of our life now. I mean, we've seen it in many other cases. It seems to happen all the time. It's part of all the information going a million ways at once. My answer to that is go to Sonoma County Sheriff's Office Facebook, Sonoma County Facebook, and Sonoma County Sheriff's Office Nixle, because we're putting out the official reports. So when people ask me that question, I say, go here and look at this.
Does it cause any life-endangering problems?
I'm not aware of any issues that have come up, but it sure creates confusion.
Do you expect the death toll to increase as you go through these missing people reports?
I'd be unrealistic if I didn't.
Sheriff, have you had any more cases of looting?
Thankfully, very few calls of that. We did make 2 arrests last night of people for being in the evacuation zone that we suspected were there to loot.
And that's on top of the 2 that you mentioned yesterday?
Yep.
And the one before that?
And the one before that. So my best count, we're up to 5. I know of 2 new last night. Yeah.
Is there an idea about how many people have been evacuated or are under mandatory evacuation?
You know what? I do not know that number. I'm sorry.
Sheriff, I live on the west.
No, I believe they're going out for the first time today.
I live on the west side of Bennett Valley, and we haven't been under mandatory evacuation, but most of my neighborhood has left. We're the last standing house. And last night, my friend was outside, and we did have people coming through our neighborhood. Are there officers out there patrolling? Because we did have an issue. Luckily, we had our dog outside, and we were outside, so we were able to see them, and they ran off. But do we have officers patrolling the neighborhoods that aren't under mandatory evacuation?
Yeah, the goal is to patrol everywhere, right? To cover all those things, and frankly, the evacuation advisories all around the evacuation areas, they are keeping an eye on all that as well. So.
You said several days before a lot of these neighborhoods are reopened. Can you be more specific? Are we talking Monday?
No, I really don't have any idea. People keep asking me to pin a date. I'm just trying to be realistic. I wouldn't count on anything until Monday. And I say that only because we're still fighting a fire, and the fire guys are working hard, and they got a job to do, and we're not going to let people back into neighborhoods when things are still burning.
Do you know in what area the cadaver dogs will go into today?
Targeted searches based on our missing persons list could be anywhere in our jurisdiction where we're looking.
Is there one particular neighborhood where you found a concentration?
No.
Have they
It's
been spread out?
So far, it's been spread out into burn areas that we can get into. So.
Is today the first time search and rescue teams are going out also?
Yes, I believe so. They were out here the other day, but they weren't out searching. They were doing other stuff for us.
Sheriff, there's been multiple cases of people who have burned alive in their homes, and also many pets have gone missing. Why won't you accept volunteers for people who aren't going to go loot houses and have them wear a body cam or have a patrol car follow them around to get some of these people and animals out safely?
We need to respect the loved ones and the families and the dead, and we're not going to take people in to take pictures of something like that. It's way too sensitive.
To grab people before they're dead in their houses before
we have a job to do, and that is safety. And taking people in to take pictures is not going to help us take care of their safety.
To get them out before they.
I'm not going to answer your questions anymore. Sorry.
Yesterday it was still life-threatening. You said it was still a life-threatening operation, making sure that people were safe and getting them out of their house. Is that the case today, or?
Yeah, the whole issue still is life safety and getting people out as needed. So as fire tells us where they need evacuations, we will continue to do the evacuations.
But you haven't had any evacs since last night?
Last night we did not have any evacs. I'm unaware of this morning. Yeah, yesterday evening.
Since the evening. Are you getting a sense from CAL FIRE or the fire department that you might have to do more evacuations today?
I have no information about that. I'll be at the briefing with them in a little while and at the 1 o'clock. Yeah.
One question, the deaths and the missing reports, are they mainly from the Tubbs fire? Are they all from the Tubbs fire?
I don't know that. And part of the reason I don't know is I don't know which one's the Tubbs versus which one's this versus where we're getting our people. So I'm sorry.
Do you have more information about where the people are, if they've been found in structures or outside of structures?
I don't know. All right, thank you.
At one will be held where?
Fire base camp at the fairgrounds.
Sonoma County Fairgrounds.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate you coming. Thanks.